Well, glory be and mercy me, we've done it yet again. Here we are, walk around the graveyard, our normal walk. So the Liberal government decides, hey, let's try to convince people that we actually care about climate change again. How about we do that? That's what we've been doing for the last 8 years, right? Lying about caring about climate change. So why don't we just continue the grift, right? We've replaced the environmental minister with somebody who has some cred, right? Oh, a Greenpeace guy, right? Certainly not bought out by big corporate power, certainly not completely capitulated. You know, the way that Canadians do is to capitulate to corporate power over and over again. Just to remind everybody, right? These Liberals have been saying for a long time now, oh yeah, we're going to do something about climate change. Oh yeah, we're actually going to make a plan about climate change. Oh yeah, sure, we're going to do something about climate change, just like they've been planning to do something about pharmacare, just like they've been planning to do something about all of these issues, right? And that seems to be all that Liberals actually do. And more it's becoming extremely obvious that these Liberals are not actually trying to save the species or save the society or save people or anything like this. They're trying to save capitalism, right? That's what they're trying to do. That the problem that's driving climate change is obviously capitalism, and what they are doing is attempting to sell us products to solve the problem that they themselves are generating. Let's remember, for 20 years they tried to convince us, oh, there's no problem, oh, the science isn't in, right? Both sides issue, we're going to platform a PhD scholar who's spent his entire life studying this, and then some hack sent in by the fossil fuel industry, and those are the same, we should definitely treat those as equal. And that's what they did to us for about a decade, right? We literally have documents and leaks and confessions and admissions from the fossil fuel industry, from the political class, saying that they knew that climate change was an issue, and they've been lying to us. They did a disinformation campaign on us over and over again, and no one went to jail about it, right? Which is exactly what they should do. Here's the solution that I think we should be doing about climate change, right? What's the problem? We're polluting. We should stop. It's very simple, right? That we should nationalize the fossil fuel industry, right? Get rid of the psychopaths who have been actively lying to us for the last 20 years, incarcerate them for their overt crimes against humanity. We should nationalize the fossil fuel industry, remove them from the process, and start diminishing the amount of pollution we create, right? We should create rationing programs. We should ensure that the fossil fuels that we do burn are being done for strictly necessary things while transitioning. We should do things like pass a basic income to ensure that the instability that's generated from this is smoothed over. We should tell people to drive less. We should tell people to stop doing this. We should start planting trees, for God's sakes. But what are the solutions that the Liberals are coming up with? We're just going to sell you toy cars that are electric instead. And we're also going to try to grift you with this idea of carbon capture, right? This is how you know it's a complete grift, guys. This is how you know that these guys are just salesmen who are trying to sell you a product to solve a problem that they themselves are creating. So they want to dredge more material out of the ground, right? Spewing more fossil fuels into the atmosphere. They want to dredge more oil out of the ground and then form it into machinery to then capture the carbon they create from this process. When, hey, do you know what already does that? Check it out. Look, it's right over here. I discovered it, guys. It's called trees. Trees already do that, and they're more efficient, and they're better at it. And you can take a seed and put it in the ground. You know what comes out? Trees. But instead of that, what are we going to do? We're going to give a bunch of money to the people creating the problem in the first place, these psychopathic, detached billionaires who are then going to create these carbon capture facilities, which, by the way, the studies are out. The carbon capture facilities pollute more than they capture. We are incompetent. We are stupid for believing these overt grifters who, incidentally, the Liberals have missed 9 targets already, right? Like, this level of failure, even if you believe that they're trying to be genuine, which they're not, these people are detached psychopaths who are totally fine with spreading misery into the society on behalf of the billionaire class. They don't care. But even if you believe that these guys are actually trying, right? Even though Trudeau literally walked out of COP26 being like, we're gonna be carbon neutral by 2050, and then increased productivity by 30%, right? Buying oil pipelines, buying all this shit. Like, but okay, fine. But even if you believe that they're actually trying, which they're not, but if you believe that they are, right? They've missed the mark 9 times, right? What makes you think that they're actually going to hit it this time? What has finally convinced you in your brain space that, oh, 10th time's the charm, right? Like, this scale of total failure, like, imagine if this was a military we were fighting, right? And we've lost 9 times in a row, right? For sure the 10th time is gonna make it. For sure these guys aren't just grifting us yet again with an overt, obvious lie that you can see through, that is clear, that is obvious, that we just keep falling for over and over and over again. No, can't be that. This time it'll for sure happen. We are getting to a point now. Like, I have a 12-year-old nephew, and I'm looking at that guy, and I am acknowledging completely that we're just abandoning him. Like, let's stop fucking pretending. Let's stop pretending like we're actually building a society that's going to be stable for this kid. Let's stop pretending like we actually give a shit about our children. Like, this is the most embarrassing part about what it is to be a Canadian these days. Like, we do not care about our children. And I know that I am going to be saying to these kids, you guys should rebel at every corner. You should stop participating. You should organize students, do mass walkouts. You should never vote Conservative and Liberal. You should be organizing yourselves and seeking to incarcerate Justin Trudeau and the psychopaths he works for. You should definitely be organizing around these precepts because these fuckers have abandoned you. And it's beyond abandonment. Not only are they abandoning us and abandoning our children, they are actively attempting to sell us a product to a problem that they themselves are creating. Because guess what, guys? We could just stop, right? Instead, we're gonna buy 88 fighter jets, right? The number one issue nobody talks about, right? What's actually polluting? Oh, war, right? Fighter jets emit fossil fuels, right? Those carriers that are floating all over the place. Fuel, launching missiles, fuel, right? We could just stop. We could just stop. But we're choosing not to. And instead, we're going to just salesman our way to our own destruction and abandon our kids while we do it. Let's stop pretending, huh? The only solution left to us is to surround the halls of power, is to gather en masse, is to say to these psychopaths who have actively abandoned us that this is unacceptable. The NDP has abandoned us too, so get that out of your head. Right? They've completely capitulated to corporate power. They've completely capitulated to the war machine. These guys are celebrating like, yeah, we made it so that corporations can't just replace workers if they go on strike. Like, that's the level that we're talking about. This degeneration of our society, this degeneration of our culture. And we are going to hit a brick wall that is going to make everything else that humanity has ever experienced look like baby's first empire collapse. You can't negotiate with the sun, kids. You can't negotiate with the sun. And the lunatics and morons who are rocking around saying We can just technology our way out of it. When the fires come, like they did in Lytton, and burnt the place down, they're going to blow up your technology. Your air conditioners are going to explode. You're going to run to water taps in order to try to get cool water, and the water will come out boiling. The sun is going to sear us off the earth. You understand? No, of course you don't, because you keep voting Liberal, you keep voting NDP, you keep voting Conservative, and you keep pretending as though this issue is just gonna resolve itself. We'll build a carbon capture plant. We'll build a carbon capture plant while the Earth has created its own carbon capture plants that we cut down and throw into biofuel factories. We need a war economy to face this. We need to begin acting like fucking adults, and we're not capable. We are the children of the apocalypse, and that's all we're ever going to be, it seems. All right, guys, this is the end of this one. Like, share, subscribe. We have to actually be supporting leftist voices. The only people at the table at this point are lunatics, right? Just people who are actively abandoning our children and telling us that it's all for our own good, right? We've been censored. We've been thrown out of the conversation. We're not part of it. And the massive homelessness, the spiking disaster, right? The famines are going to be the worst part, guys. The famines are going to be the worst part. Get ready for them. Always remember, you are a quantum being walking around in quantum energy. These billionaires are spending hundreds of billions of dollars in the attempt to make sure you never realize it, so you'll just stay the good little commodity they need you to be. Revolt, rebel, repent. Good luck. We're gonna need it.